Hi, FlossTube Stitchers. My name is Shelly, and this is my shop and FlossTube channel, Just Stitching Inc. It's Memorial Day weekend, so there'll be a little bit of red, white, and blue thrown in here. Starting off with this sweet little pillow that I found recently. I actually can't remember if it was in my craft room packed away or if it was in a box of models that we were no longer using here at the shop. But whatever the case, a few weeks ago I decided I better keep this in a handy spot so that I could start decorating for summer. And I do patriotic in a lot of areas in my house, but I also have a bee theme. So I need to decide what I'm taking home. I'll probably take the patriotic home and then bring it back in July and then take the bees home. But anyway, I didn't want to lose track of this. It was in a nice little bag with a ribbon on it. It was probably how it came. This was a Heart and Hand needle art kit. I don't know how many years ago, long time ago. I thought for sure it was hers, so I took a picture of it and reached out to Cecilia, and she just said, yep, that's mine. She didn't say what the name of it was or how old it was or anything, but I know it was a limited edition kit that came with the tuck pillow. So the stitching is just sitting in there. So anyway, it's really sweet, and I'm gonna enjoy putting this on my tiered tray probably. So that's my vintage stitch, although I don't know how vintage it is. Then I realized that I think I was planning on doing this soon, but on Monday, May 20th, I realized it was National Pick Strawberries Day. And I thought, what a good excuse to pick another strawberry design to start stitching. So if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you've already seen my progress on Mouse's Strawberry Jam from Tiny Modernist. I'm having so much fun stitching this. I think I have to do all the mice now. I've always thought these were cute. I think there's about 10 in the series. I looked them up and I ordered the ones I was out of here at the shop, but I can't remember how many there were total. But she has a lot of really cute ones, and there's other series with mice, but I really think this is my favorite. So I started on Monday, and then I also worked on Tuesday and Wednesday so that I could show it. You know me, like between 11:30 and midnight on Wednesday, I'm showing my whip. Keeping it real, I stitch up until the last minute until I have to take a photo and post it. So this is what I got done in 3 nights. And I stitched most of the white first because I didn't want any of those issues with color transfer. And then after I stitched it, I thought, Shelly, why don't you just test the floss? So I took all 3 of the corally red colors and I did the paper towel test. I sprinkled water on the paper towel and folded it over and got it damp. I didn't want to spritz right on the thread, probably because I was stitching with it on the same night, but I just did 1 length of thread, so it's not like I didn't have more thread to work with. But anyway, I just got the paper towel just lightly saturated, and then I put the length of the 3 colors across it. Then I folded the paper towel over. I probably should have filmed myself doing it, but it was in not that great of a lighting in the kitchen at night, and so I didn't think to do that. But on Facebook and Instagram a couple weeks ago, I think I referred to another video that showed the damp paper towel test for just checking your floss to see if you think there will be any color transfer when you stitch with it. So anyway, I folded the paper towel over and then I really patted it down so that the paper towel was catching all of the thread. And then I opened it back up and lifted the floss to see if there was any color transfer. And there wasn't anything from any of these 3 colors, even the darkest red. But, you know, I'm used to doing the white first, so it wasn't really a bother. But in the beginning, I thought I was going to stitch the mouse first instead of doing the white. And then I thought, no, there's the apron, so I really need to, just do the white. And then I found I didn't have the gray that it called for. So I'm sorry she doesn't have a head yet or hands or feet, but that'll go on soon in the next couple days. Then I must have been checking Facebook somewhere along the line, or maybe I got a notification and it drew me to my iPad. And I saw somebody post that it was World Bee Day. And I'm like, what? Both on the same day? How lucky could I get? So sometime during the evening, I also, which this was kind of a plan that I wanted to get back to this summer, but I got back to my Where There Are Bees, which was day 20 of my mania in 2019. And I had never gone back to it. I don't know why, because it's so adorable and I wanted to do the 2 smaller pieces too. So I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. I knew exactly where it was because I had it handy. I knew I was gonna get back to it this summer. So all I had done from Mania was the black, what shape is that? Oh, I can't even think. Anyway, the black and the black part of the bee, the border and the bee, that's all I had done because in 2019, I started a new project every day. And so all I got done was the couple hours that I stitched, if I had that much time to stitch. So my goal was to finish the whole block. And then I just moved over to these bee initials because, you know, they were easy to count. And then I really wanted to add the 4th color. So this designer always uses solid DMC, and there's nothing wrong with it. I've done many Prairie Schoolers. The colors are spot on. Her designs are timeless. But for some reason, I just thought I wanted to make these over-dyed. So I took the DMC colors out and I matched them as best I could to my favorite Weeks Dye Works. The only thing I changed slightly was this color, pink, I guess, was more of a flesh tone in the DMC, and I didn't care for that. And sorry, I didn't bring them with me. So the colors I changed to were charcoal, whiskey, jaybird, and red pear. And I'm stitching this on 32 count antique white Lugana with 2 strands. Now, if I had started this year, I probably would only be stitching with 1 strand. But back in 2019, I was all about stitching with 2, unless it was 36 or 40. I didn't discover the joy of stitching with 1 strand until a little bit later, but I actually like it. And because there aren't a whole lot of areas that are completely filled in where it would be awkward and thick, I think it's going to be fine. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm happy to have all 4 colors there. So that actually leads me into talking about my stitching schedule, which I kind of didn't even know I had. I inadvertently started this new schedule where I really wanted to show progress on whatever I was posting on Whip Wednesday. And as a shop owner, I don't always like to just show the same project. I mean, occasionally I've shown it 2 times. I mean, maybe I'll show it 2 times over the course of a couple weeks, and then I'll wait until it's completely finished and then show it. I might show it on FlossTube, but I don't necessarily post pictures of it. Not that you wouldn't want to see my progress, but just as a shop owner, I'm always trying to advertise something new so that there's something else you might be interested in buying. So I started beginning a new project every Monday, and then I would work hard on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I would kind of go back to a whip, and Friday, I might do another whip. And then I've had a couple Fridays or Saturdays in the last couple weeks that we've had something to do, so I wasn't available for the entire evening of stitching, so maybe I don't get as much accomplished. And then on Sundays, sometimes I don't stitch at all, because if I have technology issues and I'm here late, then I get home not in the mood to stitch, or it's too late and I'm just you know, I'm just gonna go to bed. But I started stitching here a few times before I did the video, and usually those were times where I was trying to finish something. So like on this, I wanted to finish the pink flower, just to, you know, just to have the whole shape there. So I finished that while I was here. So that's kind of my schedule, which is weird because I never wrote it down. It just kind of happened naturally, and I kept doing the same thing. So I left some tails here just to show you how my mind works. So years ago, well, for a long time, I've been starting with an away waist knot, except I don't actually make a knot. I just kind of leave the thread and then I start stitching. Usually when I'm first starting the piece or when I'm first starting a new color and there's nothing yet to, there's no other area of stitching to wind it under, or I wouldn't want to wind black under, you know, a lighter color. So most times I'm starting a new color using, you know, this technique where you just leave the thread elsewhere. Well, I was doing a piece with green on white fabric, and it doesn't even matter what thread company it was, so I'm not going to mention it. And it's not a problem with all colors, and it's not a problem with all companies, and you know, things have changed. That was years ago. Some of the companies are using a different finishing technique, or they're now working on getting their fibers closer to being, what's the word I want? I'm losing my nouns. I keep telling myself it's not dementia, this is just normal aging. They're working towards getting as color fast as the industry in the United States will allow them to be without jumping through too many hoops. So anyway, now, you know, after that mistake, it left green marks, it left green dots all over my fabric. And I didn't finish stitching the project, so I never quite figured out how I was going to try to get rid of them. There wasn't necessarily going to be stitching in those areas. So now I either start where I know there's going to be stitching, which requires a little bit of measuring to see where it is, or I just put it in a hole where there's already thread of a similar or darker color. So I left those so I would remember to talk to you about it. Okay. Does anyone else do that? Okay. Then I got out another whip from, I believe it was the same Mania 2019, because after that I started doing different things like having a sale. Because in 2020, of course, we were closed and I needed to, you know, I needed to sell some things. So I didn't want to just start a new project. I wanted to, I guess that's when I started having sales or different things in May. So I got that out again, but it led me to what I thought was a funny story. Okay, so bear with me here. This is, well, let's get the fuzz off first. This is 14 count bramble from Picture This Plus, and it's a beautiful, not too pale, not too dull green color that's also really nice for a multitude of styles and holidays and seasons and whatnot. So it's a really pretty green. And now that it takes, you know, like 10 to 12 months to get an order from Picture This Plus, I thought, well, this is the only bramble I have left from that order, and this was in, I got this in February of 2022. So when I placed my next order, I thought, wow, that bramble went pretty fast. I'm going to order it again in like almost everything because I knew it was a popular color. So when that order came in, let me take it out of the plastic bag here and show you. This happens to be 36 Edinburgh, which, funnily enough, I got this in at the end of February, and although I thought I was going to have trouble selling it, this is all that's left. It is a really pretty color. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. So this is how bramble came in February. Everything, all of the counts, the Lugana, the Ada, the linen, everything. And it's the colors maybe not showing up quite as nice here. It's a little more like a pale plum. It's kind of looking gray here. But so I thought, That is crazy. That is just crazy. How could it turn from green to this plum color? But so many people were enchanted by it that they were just buying quarter yards, you know, just to put in their stash. So when I got out this project from 2019, I forget what day this was because it no longer has the sticker on the back. I was doing this one. This is a collection, Tra La La, Duo Lapin, two rabbits, and I'm doing rabbit number 2. When I got out this project, guess what? It's on, I think it's, now I forget if it's 32. I think it's 32. This is 32 Bramble from all those years ago because I already had it in my stash in 2019. And it's the plum color. So what's hilarious is the green was the off color. And here I'm thinking, oh, this Bramble is like, it's just the best green. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I had completely forgotten that this was on Bramble, but luckily I had the tag in there. So in 2019, I had just the green on this design, and I really, really, really wanted to put the rabbit head on. So I stitched that. That was just in DMC. And then I had some extra time one night and I added a flower. So I'm using the French threads, and I never know if I'm saying it right. It's Atali or Atali. And let's see, I'm going to show you. The dress is supposed to be done in, you know, I was going to look up what these words meant and I forgot. So it's, the dress is supposed to be done in Chalcedon, and this is Etain, which is kind of the same intensity of color, and I like a blue rather than a teal color. So I'm going to change the dress to this. And it still goes with the dark blue that's also in the dress. So that's going to work. Then, okay, I'm getting my pinks mixed up. One of the flowers is in Chocolat, which is brown. It looks brown in the picture too, and I didn't want the brown, so I wanted to stick with the same company. So I picked Rosemary as the medium tone. Alrighty. And then the light colored flower was this Rose Poivre, and I thought it was too dull for my fabric because they had done theirs like on a whiter antique white, and I thought this blended in too much with my fabric, so I made it just a little bit brighter, something that I had in stock, but something that would that all three of the pinks would go together. Now the green happened to be Gentle Art and the dark blue, but it's what the designer called for. So I wanted to kind of, you know, stick to her color palette. I also wanted more models done with this thread. I didn't have all these colors before, which might be why I didn't go back to it. It's more likely that I just forgot about the project. But anyway, now you're going to start seeing a new tag. The new owner, you know, as of a couple of years ago, her company is Tom A. Lily Creations. I think those are her kids' names. And so she's adding new colors from the original line. And so she's changing the tag so they all say Tom, they will all say Tom and Lily eventually. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I do carry those threads. They're 8-yard skeins for $350, I think. I think they're $350 or $375, $350, I think. So anyway, so I felt really good working on 2 whips from 2019, and I think those will get finished before the end of the summer, although I do have plans to move on to some other themes. But, you know, especially for that bunny, if I just did 1 flower a night, I could still work on my other projects, and it would still eventually get done. All right, so that is my stitching. We had new charts that came in. I got Heartstring Samplery auto, but I also included the ones from Market because I think she had run out of a few of them and I thought I would just wait. So I got them all at the same time. So these are in alphabetical order, but they represent two different automatics. So this is Americana Mamas 2 called Lady Liberty. I'll hold it so you can see the price too. So it's got both designs in there. Let's see, where am I going to put these? And then there's a series of Home is Where Your Something Is, and this is Doggo. Home is Where Your Heart Is doesn't have the house. And that's only 10 instead of 12. This is Home is Where Your Honey Is. Now, you know I'm going to have a hard time picking which one of these. Maybe I'll have to put a dog and a bee skep on mine. I'll have to do a mashup. And this is Home is Where Your Purr Ball Is. I've had cats, but not for a long time, so I don't tend to stitch cat things anymore. This is L is for Liberty, which is number 11 in her alphabet series. And it has the angel wings, and she wrote something very nice about it in the email that she sent to shops about what it represented, and I've already forgotten what she said, so I don't want to make it up because I won't do it justice. This is My Scissors, My Rules. Stars and Stripes, Penny Pin Drum. And Sweet Melissa Biscornu. All right, and then the other automatic we got was from Primrose Cottage Samplers. I don't always get the needle minders because for some reason lately I haven't been selling as many of them, and I know they sell so much direct, and I was just afraid to get every single one, but I got this one because I think it's really awesome, and it's supposed to look like the house in the big sampler, American Sampler. So that's how they designed it. And I really, really, really like this one. They did it on 36 flax. And, you know, from this distance, you can't see all the white that's there. So I would totally recommend doing it on a darker beige than flax. Although flax, since it's a natural color linen, it comes in different every time, and I believe the flax that we got in recently in 28 count was a little more yellow. So take my advice with a grain of salt because flax and raw do not always come in looking exactly the same. So this is going to be my giveaway this week, and I already forgot what my question was going to be. Tell me what your favorite patriotic red is to use. Okay, and then next week I'll do the random number generator for that. Then their other two were July 4th, 1776 house, which, you know, I'm behind on watching their videos, but that might mean that they have a series of July 4th designs coming out. And this is the first one. I don't know, I'm just making that up. It made sense to me. And the smaller ones are 8, and this is Sweet Land of Liberty. So those were the 3 new ones and the needle minder from Primrose Cottage. And then our new shop model, you know, a lot of these came back at the same time, but I'm just showing them one at a time because I knew there'd be a lull where we weren't getting as many models on loan for various reasons. So I saved this one, and it's perfect timing because it's a Primrose Cottage. So this is Winter Wishes, and it was stitched by Marlene, one of our local customers. And it was framed here by Bonnie. And I love the woodsy look of the frame. And I love some of these frame companies that have, you know, it's not just all boring brown. So I love the teal look of the frame. I think this one comes in 4 or 6 different colors. And she did hers on, I'm going to say it's Picture This Plus, and it's Bramble. No, I don't know. It might be Bramble. It's not Valor. I think Valor has more blue to it, but people ask me all the time, and she never remembers what she stitches on. And sometimes she doesn't even get them framed in the same year. So, you know, if somebody asks, we'll just find something close, but I don't really always know what she did it on. Okay. Then our fabric automatic of the, I don't know where all this fuzz is I've found a piece of fuzz on everything here. Isn't that funny when you put something in your camera lens, you notice all the flaws, whether it's your own face or what, so, or your dog or a flower or something, and all of a sudden you notice something that's out of whack. Anyway, I keep finding a piece of fuzz. The Atomic Ranch automatic color was, let's get this situated here, Mellow Stone. And I got it in a variety of counts. It was pretty fairly accurately depicted across all of the different styles. There's a little bit of a yellowish. It kind of reminds me of Vintage Country Cream from Zweigart. The middle one is Lugana. So Lugana is always the lightest, less mottled of the colors. This one is 14 count, and you can see a little bit. And then the linen, the two higher counts linen, the 36 and 40, tended to be like the messiest. So I guess it's just how the fabric content takes the dye. But anyway, I thought that was a really nice color. I think I had seen it during the trunk show last fall, and I was excited that it was going to be one of the automatics for this year. Okay, the other new thing we got were these had been on back order for a little bit. It's So Emma, the cloth biddies, and I really just haven't had a chance to try them yet. I know that some company makes longer ones if you're doing, something like on a scroll bar or a larger frame, but the diagram they show in the back of the package just show these rolled around your project. So they were designed to keep your fabric rolled, whether it was a project, multiple projects stacked up, or your fabric, so that it's not folded. But then there are also diagrams, if you just Google this, there are diagrams that show it being used on a project where you'll roll up your extra fabric around the Q-snapper hoop, and then this helps keep it in place. It also serves as a needle minder, which I had forgotten that perk. So anyway, they're 13, and we got a bunch of these in, so I thought you'd be interested to see that. And then the winner from last week's video was Sandra Kalmeyer, and I did message her to ask which of the hands-on design strawberries she wanted. And her comment was, the question was, what's the hardest thing you've ever finished? She said, my hardest finish was gingerbread men that I stuffed as little pillows. They were on the small side and didn't come with a template. Don't you hate that? Needless to say, these little guys did not have nice rounded limbs or head, but I still loved them and still have them after many years. So I know that she already did these, but if somebody were to ask me for advice now, I would say look at your cookie cutters. I bought a bunch of cookie cutters at Target at the end of the season last year, thinking that I would use them either as templates for something, or decorations in my tiered tray, or a template for cutting out something that maybe was a part of a design and it didn't come with finishing instructions. So anyway, cookie cutters. Okay, that's it. Enjoy your the rest of your weekend. If you're somewhere that is that has Monday off for Memorial Day, and we'll see you next time. I'll have a lot more to show you. And oh gosh, next time it'll be June already, so I'll be into a different theme of stitching. So, alrighty, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.